RELL's Community Review. Hello everyone, here on the RELL channel, I'm sure you guys already know that we review everything correlated to RELL's. And by everything, I really do mean everything. And so today, I'm gonna be reviewing different RELL's Discord suggestions. The Discord is the Goblin Nation Discord, link in the description below. And let's just see if any of these suggestions are any good. Some of them are retarded, and some of them are pretty decent. So let's go. The first one is this one, by X Speed Rate. This suggestion proclaims that a hypothetical OP Nomi ability where you could actually gain overhealth or double the amount of health, but you'd give it to someone so you don't gain it yourself. The downside would be that you would die and lose the fruit. Since the OP would be probably rare, do you guys think that this is a good trade? Lose a fruit but gain a second health bar. Well, it really depends, because in my opinion, this can be either very confusing or it can be very interesting. If you want it to be a fair trade-off, make the second health bar permanent, then make it so you only gain this ability through awakening the fruit. Once you awaken the fruit, you can use this ability, and whoever you used it on gains a permanent second health bar. So even after the person that gained the second health bar dies, they get it back when they get rezzed. That would make it a pretty fair trade-off. But yeah, this is just a pretty simple idea, so yeah. This next idea is as interesting, if not more. Since we did get confirmation that RELL's is offering rank 10 fruit skins, they should sort of mingle. It would be cool if RELL's made different skins for each rank. Like if you were gold, you'd have more golden skins for the Allosaurus model, for example. But if you're diamond rank, your Allosaurus would need more diamondly. What I think this should be like is like toggleable, or maybe even just limited to rank only. And like maybe if ranked had a mode where you could fight to ranks that are close to you, so non-skill based matchmaking, they make it like random rank and you'd only know by the skin that they're wearing. This is a cool idea, right? But honestly, this was probably the thing that they were gonna go for. What am I saying? This is probably the thing that they were gonna go for when they first even made the rank system. So I don't even think that he needed to make the suggestion. I'm pretty sure it was gonna happen anyway. Good suggestion either way, from Neil. Interesting profile picture, by the way. Anyway, our next suggestion is a lot more in-depth, and it's actually made by Squid, who's a really good artist in the Goblin Nation community. Anyway, Squid suggests that his suggestion should apply to all zones, but specifically standard zones like bison, wolf, leopard, falcon, etc. So for half forms, it should be R6 models with actual texture of the player model changing, not the actual model changing. I already disagree with this, because this is just fucking not good. Like, half forms are so good in RELL's because they actually change the entire body, unlike most games that do the lazy way. But let's just keep reading, right? And and additional things like horns, claws, teeth, a tail, depending on what zone it is. Of course, half form should be R6, since that way the model doesn't change, meaning the player would still be able to use their fighting style, weapons, etc. without the animations being impacted, and their clothes won't need to be changed either when they enter half form, since the R6 model fitting clothes still fit the R6 model in half form, since the half form is still R6. He's yapping a lot here. And the reason the texture of the player's skin should be changed in half form is because obviously they need to look like the zone in half form. I'll make a drawing to explain exactly what I mean. And just the texture changing, meaning nothing. So you think that turning into an animal, like a hybrid of an animal and a human, would make you not tear your clothes apart? Didn't we learn this from Incredible Hulk? The player skin should be changed because I was okay. And just the texture change, meaning nothing would be added on the top of the player model, excluding the additional blah 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 blah. Anyway, I don't agree with any of this. Basically, what he's trying to say is that instead of the half forms being full models like what we currently have, they should be quote unquote R6 models with like accessories that make it look like that. I don't know if he's just a mobile user, but usually Squid makes much better suggestions than this. But the reason I picked this suggestion out is because of the full form suggestion that he made, which is the really good one. Okay, so he did the half form suggestion because he wants the half form to be able to use weapons and fighting styles. There is a version of half form for each and every zone that lets you do that, but you won't get the abilities for a half form. You just get the speed boosts and that, or you could actually go for the half form with the abilities. But for full forms, he says it should obviously be a model that isn't R6 and look like an actual animal. The full form model of the zone should look exactly like the model of the same animal in the game. Maybe I do agree with this actually. For example, a leopard's user's full form should look like the NPC leopards in the game. If they are in the game, the player's username and any other things making them stand out above the animal NPCs should disappear to when in full form. As for why, I'll explain it now. So imagine you're being haunted by a crew and you coincidentally or intentionally come across a herd of bisons and you happen to have the bison fruit eaten. You turn into a bison and blend in like they act like an NPC game called Dingus. Yes. I know Dingus, it's a game where you blend in with NPCs, and I 100% agree with this. This is a great idea, considering that RELL goes for, as I said in my last video, revolutionary mechanics, right? So yeah, I agree with the full form, and let me show you what he said to go more in depth. Okay, so here it is. He says, I know you would think the texture changing for half forms would mean making a separate texture for every face type, except that isn't the case. You can use layers, although I'm not a dev, so I don't know if layers are a thing for textures, but I imagine that it is. It's quite a simple concept, and I think it exists. It's not that simple because this isn't about development, this is about modeling and also animating. And you can't layer things on R6 models unless you put them all in one group. And if you don't do that, the limbs of the character will just fall apart because it's rigged like that in Roblox. So if you make the placement of the eyes, nose, and mouth of each individual customization option relatively the same position, you can just make it so the face appears above the texture. If you do this, the face is just gonna fucking fall down on the floor. Face, okay, above the texture, skin first scale is what it is. So it'd be necessary for the faces, all the players' bodies are the same unless you take it to the male and female body type. So there are different versions to the male and female body type. So you'd only need to make 2 of each texture, which in deving isn't that much, I'd assume. And for the outcome, it's quite worth it. 3D clothes would fit just as well onto the half form or fixed body as it would. Okay, I don't agree with this, and the reason I don't is because 1, this is impossible to code, and this also just falls back right into the category that I talked about in my last video, in which some people make overly unrealistic expectations, not remembering that it is a Roblox game. And 2, these ideas are amazing, don't get me wrong. I just don't think that those great models that they made for the half form should be went into waste just because it's quote unquote more convenient to have a half form that looks more like an R6 body. Literally, we'd probably rather all of the bodies just look like the half forms, and if they make it fit, we're probably gonna be happy with that. But you saw that the half forms are as big as a player. No, they're not bigger than a player. We've seen the sneak with leopard, in which the leopard was as big as a player, which is pretty interesting. So I don't think that this should actually apply. At least that's my personal opinion. Okay, this one is also a bit of a long one, but this one is pretty interesting. So he says, we saw that RELL has a lot of weapons like dagger, saber, katana, nadashi, big sword, axe, swift, sake, rifle, gatling, one-hand gun, and bazooka. This is a lot, but I think they could add some more. Akimbo. They already added an akimbo. Naginata. They already added a naginata. Spear / trident. They already added a spear / trident. Climate tacto. I think that they didn't add it just yet, but they did leak it, actually. Or did they? I forgot, actually. But yeah, it would be a really cool idea to add climate tag. the Q spec, you'd like make rain drop down on your opponent, and that rain just slows down the opponent. Then we have your Warhammer, because blocking people is fun. They're probably gonna have something very similar to that. Gauntlet, they probably would make. No, they already made a gauntlet. I definitely remember seeing a gauntlet. Sniper rifle, they already made a sniper rifle leak. Claws, they already made claws. 2/3-handed swords. They said you can have up to 5 swords. I don't know where the 5th one's gonna be going. I don't even know how to get 5 swords. I guess 2 in your mouth, 2 in your hand, and then the 5th one, like, no, I think they said 4. I don't know, bro. Baseball bat. Then I can become Batman. I don't really know if they would add a baseball bat. Slingshot, they will 100% add this. Bows, because possibilities are almost infinite. They should also add bows. Dials can be interesting. Rope action to be Spider-Man. Punishers, killer's weapon that can make sonic attacks and give internal damage. Battle Smashers, Yee's Gauntlet, really cool. Okay, I agree with all of these, especially the last one, which is the chains. Those are some that I didn't see in the game yet, and I definitely hope that they add them. It's honestly amazing, so yeah, those are pretty good weapons to add. I'm really nothing bad to say about that. Good suggestion. Okay, so this one is really, really cool, but basically it's more so about interaction with NPCs. It's a really good idea. There's nothing bad about this idea at all. There's no mistakes. It is fairly codable, at least with the NPC systems that they have. They definitely can do this. I mean, even the fish guy from last video, or the video before the last video, said that this is a good idea. Basically, he says, imagine fighting an NPC that has a devil fruit ability, and it doesn't necessarily have to be for combat. Kuku Kuku no Mi, Shiu Shiu no Mi, and I guess the Fuku Fuku no Mi or something. They could be useful in all sorts of ways. Of course, it'll be rare for an NPC to have powers like this. If recruited, they'll fill a support role. This is an amazing idea. As for minions, I would like for devil fruits like Shadow, Soul, and Cracker's fruit, if it's in consideration to summon minions for you, of course. Maybe even Venom. The minions could have half of the strength. The strength the player has, kind of like the clones from JJ Infinite. And the Shadow Fruit could revive dead NPCs and nerf their stats with Zombie, Shimotsu, Kiryoma from Thriller Bark, or they could be absorbed for boosted stats. I love this idea. Like, I love this idea. This is an insane idea. Even if, let's say, your crew isn't on and you are about to fight maybe 2 to 3 people, you can have these NPCs back you up, and it will actually be useful, right? So I can see them adding this. Good job, X Speed Rate, with 2 amazing ideas for today. Okay, so that was it for today's video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a pretty simple video, but hey, at least we did something about RELL for today, because if I hadn't done this video, I would have probably not been able to post something. Hope you guys enjoyed, and next subject, please.